הנה אל ישועתי אבטח ולא אפחד.
God here, who delivers me, that I feel secure and unafraid.
כי עוזי וזמרת יה, אדוני ויהי לי ישועה.
My strength, my song is Yah. The breath of life delivers me.
ושבתי מים בששון ממענה הישועה.
For you shall all draw joyful waters from the well springs of deliverance.
לאדוני הישועה עמך ברכתך סלע. אדוני צבאות עמם נשגב לנו אלוהי יעקב סלע. אדוני צבאות אשרי אדם בוטח בך. אדוני הושיע חיינו ויום קורנו.
Happy is the human whose midwife coaxes forth in each delivery, at each rebirth, a first new trusting breath, who breathes carefree the wind of life, the wind of life.
ליהודים הייתה אורה, שמחה וששון ויקר, כן תהיה לנו.
For the Jews there was light and joy, gladness and honor, so may it be for all of us.
Cause Yeshua tesa, Yoshem Adonai
I lift the cup in which are poured the many savors of deliverance, and I call out the name of the one whose names are infinite. Dai, 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 קודש לחול, בין אור לחושך, בין יום השביעי לששת ימי המעשה. ברוך אתה אדוני, המבדיל בין קודש לחול.
Amen.
We bless God, the all-being, who creates liminal spaces between day and night, between dark and light, between the holiness of Shabbat and the holiness of every day. In this liminal space, where everything is possible, we who are about to receive Smicha, as Mashpi'im, now find ourselves.
Waiting in the dark, we are held and protected within the womb of Shekhinah.
Here, love and compassion flow from the heart of the void.
Together we plant our seeds in the mystery.
And the mind of the all-knowing leads us into the unknown.
Place of mystery, we find Miriam's well. The well of pure, sparkling water that nourished the Israelites as they wandered in the desert. Now at the end of Shabbat, when all the wells of the world are filled from Miriam's well, we draw from this healing water. Just as Yitzchak dug the well of his father Avraham, so we dig the wells of our fathers and mothers, reconnecting to the well springs of our tradition. We dig the wells of our lineage and glean light from their wisdom as we strive to become vessels for divine Shefa.
Let us drink deeply from the Mayim Chayim, the living waters of Miriam's well. May we find healing and sustenance as we step into the new week. And may we find strength from our connection with those who came before us. Adonai Hoshia, HaMelech Ya'anenu, B'yom Koreinu. Yah, deliver us and be with us. All that is majestic within us, answer when we call. And when the answer comes, may we be blessed to hear the voice.
Zot kos Miriam, kos mayim chayim, chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. We all say chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. This is the cup of Miriam, the cup of living waters, strength, strength, and may we be strengthened.
Nevarech et ein hachayim, shenatna lanu mayim chayim. Let us bless the source of life, who has given us living waters.
Amen.
Amen.
Hold me, hold me in your heart. Hold me, hold me, hold me with your love. I am holding you, I am holding you, I am loving you, I am with you when you call. I am holding you, I am loving you, I am with you when you call. Hold me, hold me, hold me in your heart. Hold me, hold me, hold me in your
Shavua Tov. We enter into this first ritual of Smicha for our Aleph Hashpa'ah program, the first delivery.
Special delivery.
And we will invite our Mushpa'im to take their seats on the riser as we all chant together these words which are on the program that you received. From the Psalms, Bati b'mgilat sefer katuv alai, I have come with my whole life written upon me. La'asot retzoncha Elohai, to do your pleasure, my God. Chafatzti v'toratcha betoch me'ai. My own desire and your Torah are mingled within me. These are words that set these amazing people on the path 3 years ago. This chant was used to begin that process of discerning how God works inside each one of us. What they perhaps didn't know then is that the name of this chant is the Smicha chant, which my dear friend, our teacher and Rabbi Shefa Gold, wrote for her own Smicha with Rabbi Zalman some years before. Bati b'milat sefer katuv alai. Bati b'milat sefer katuv alai. La'asot retzoncha Elai. Chafatzti v'toratcha betoch me'ai. I have come with my whole life written upon me. I have come with life written upon me to do your pleasure, my God. My own desire and your Torah are mingled within me. One more time in Hebrew. Bati b'milat sefer katuv alai. Bati
God's Torah is written in each of us. And it is the role of the mashpia, or the mashpa'ah, depending on whether you're female or male, to be a teacher, a counselor, a guide, a friend, a nudge, to help people see how can they manifest the divine presence in their life. What is the sacred script that they have been given and that they are creating in consort with the divine, with God? We give thanks to the Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of God, and the lineage which began with Rachel Amenu, our mother Rachel, and reemerged with the Baal Shem Tov, and was re-envisioned by our beloved Rabbi Zalman, given a paradigm shift, who blessed us and mentored us. And so we welcome you to this very first Hashpa'ah program ordination ceremony. It's not only a first for us, but I think it's a first. I don't know of any other Jewish seminary that has integrated into its program a training for spiritual guides. And we welcome those already ordained who come to us, who belong to Ohalah, who want to learn with us. This is our first class, and our second cohort is already among us. Baruch Hashem. Rabbi Zalman, I don't know how well you remember 1986, but I was in Israel with you and the Poughkeepsie Chavurah, and that trip changed my life. I had dreamt since the 70s of having someone to help me on my journey, to figure out where God was and how God was sending me, dragging me, pulling me, challenging me. And two things happened on that trip. First of all, we went to Kever Rachel, the place where our mother Rachel is buried. And I saw that it was a place for intercessory prayer. That night and day people came and davened Tehillim. They said psalms, and they said prayers for all those, especially in need of healing, but they said prayers. And you, Reb Zalman, brought this huge red skein of thread. And the women who were there professionally didn't know what to make of it. But you got them to step aside, and the monument is large, very large. We wound the thread all around the monument, and we davened together. And we unwound the thread, and you handed it to me. So each of our new mashpi'im is going to receive 2 of those threads that carry the energy of our ancestors, that carry your bracha from 1986. This is 2008. 9. Right. You're listening. Isn't that wonderful? You're listening. So the second thing that happened, I had just been ordained by the Academy for Jewish Religion, and you asked to be part of my smicha, and I told you that what I wanted was a special bracha for the work of spiritual healing. And when we were in Machpelah, the caves where Abraham and Sarah are buried, the place of our original ancestors, you invited me into another of the caverns and stood behind me and gave me the most wonderful bracha, which you said you'd received from your own Rebbe. I wish I had had a recorder. I have no idea what you said. But it has empowered me ever since and driven me to fashion programs like this. What I remember was that you stood behind me and put your hands on my shoulders and said, "From where I stand, go forward." And that's the bracha that Reb Nadia and I will give to the students tonight. That each of them go forward in their unique way with their own personality, being a spiritual guide for the divine. We have magnificent certificates. This is just the copy. But Marcia has the real ones. And let me tell you what it says. The Seminary of Aleph, Alliance for Jewish Renewal, Certificate of Ordination, Hashpa'ah, and Spiritual Director. This is to certify that whereas our beloved students has devoted himself to learning the sacred task of counseling and guiding individuals and groups seeking to deepen and make manifest their godly potential and evolving relationship with the divine, and whereas she has completed the 3-year Aleph Hashpa'ah program, which integrates diverse spiritual guidance approaches and skills while emphasizing the legacy of Hashpa'ah that is found in the literature and praxis of Hasidism and the Jewish mystical tradition. I, that is you, Reb Zalman Schachter-Shalomi, Rebbe and Rabbinic Chair of the Pnei Or Religious Fellowship, Professor Emeritus of Religion at Temple University, and holder of the Chair of World Wisdom at Naropa University. Dean Rabbi Marsha Prager, Director of Hashpa'ah Rabbi Shohama Harris Wiener, and Associate Director Rabbi Nadja Gross, hereby affirm and commission him to serve in the sacred capacity of Mashpia Ruchani. Done this 15th day of Tevet 5769, corresponding to the 10th of January 2009. To this we affix our signature and seal. And you tonight are sealing it with your brachas. After all, what is a mashpia without a mushpah? Right? What is a spiritual director without someone who's coming seeking? On your program sheets, you'll see a chant which I was so blessed to have come through me a few weeks ago. It's a version of Ein Od Milvado, not the one you already know, based on Deuteronomy 4:35. Please, let's hear it and sing it.
There
Matya Rania Angelou.
L'shem yichud kudsha brichu shchinte, for the sake of the unification of the Holy Blessed One in the Shekhinah. In the dark, I find the spark of light, the wisdom of my ancestors. In the light, I find the spark of darkness, the place of holding and healing. May I be blessed to become a boundary crosser, seeking the space between the worlds as I balance dark and light. Help me remember that dark and light, day and night, left and right, are contained within the infinite unity. May I know God in all places, and may I offer this knowing to all I serve. Amen.
In the lineage of Rabbi Zalman and Aleph, we now bless and ordain you as Hashpa'ah Ruchanit.
From where we stand, go forward.
So, beautiful friends, there's a way of expressing appreciation without clapping. We present to you our beloved friend, Matya Angelou, Hashpa'ah Ruchanit and spiritual director.
Edela Kaplo, Edela Adrian Kaplos.
Finding a place where my experiences from childhood could flower into tools for helping others open their spiritual potentials, opening gates of releasing souls, opening gates to guides, opening from within into a spiritual presence of being a witness to my own growth and to others, strengthening abilities to heal, to listen, reveal, channel thoughts, channel shefa, guide, teach, help, deepening spiritual practice, meditation, writing, journaling, gates to like souls, to share experiences, the connection to the one through all.
In the lineage of Rabbi Zalman and Aleph, we now bless and ordain you as Hashpa'ah Ruchanit and spiritual director.
From where we stand, go forward.
Pointing me.
Sometimes sideways is forward.
This way, presenting to you, Edela Adrian Kaplo, Hashpa'ah Ruchanit and spiritual director.
Lynn Claire Feinberg.
My training towards becoming a Hashpa'ah spiritual director has quickened my inner process and contributed to greater authenticity as a spiritual leader. Through having clients of my own, I have experienced a greater sense of purpose and professionalism. The Hashpa'ah training has given me a framework from where I could bring lifelong learning into a purposeful context. I seem to have found a greater sense of gravitation within myself and a greater sense of how to rest in the flow of Shefa and experience inner nourishment. This, again, enables me to serve from a place of greater wholeness.
In the lineage of Reb Zalman and Aleph, we now bless and ordain you to serve as Hashpa'ah Ruchanit and spiritual director.
From where we stand, go forward.
Presenting to you Lynn Claire Feinberg, Hashpa'ah Ruchanit, spiritual director.
Miri Fleming Bat Ami.
This was invented so they don't see that I'm shaking. The program taught me to quiet my mind and sharpen my senses so that I hear the small voice of the divine and of the seekers. I learned that my role is holding a multisensory flashlight to illuminate the seeker's blind spots. Hashpa'ah is not about giving information or answers, advice, but as Rabbi Addison put it, it's channeling the flow of grace and guidance to another. But as a consequence, we recognize that the guide and the seeker convey and receive blessings and both transformed by the experience.
In the lineage of Reb Zalman and Aleph, we bless and ordain you as Hashpa'ah Ruchanit, spiritual director.
From where we stand, go forward. Thank you.
Presenting to you Miri Fleming Bat Ami, Hashpa'ah Ruchanit, and spiritual director. Thank you so much.
Ohalah de Janeiro.
I sought your nearness. With all my heart, I called out to you. When I went out to greet you, I discovered you coming to greet me. This is true love. I've learned that when I open myself to this love, to this Shefa, all is well. When we align with the energy of Shefa, Hashpa'ah is taking place. An infinite flow of giving and receiving. My gratitude to all my Mashpi'im, there are many of them, for giving me a bridge to spirit with a Jewish toolbox. I feel so blessed to be part of this honored tradition, and I'm looking forward to inviting other unique souls for this eternal dance.
In the lineage of Reb Zalman and Aleph, we bless and ordain you as Hashpa'ah Ruchanit, spiritual director.
From where we stand, go forward.
I present to you Ohalah de Janeiro, Hashpa'ah Ruchanit, spiritual director.
beside you. There is nothing else beside you. Hallelujah. Harmonies. Eino milvado, Eino milvado, Eino milvado. Hallelujah. There is nothing else beside you. There is no one else beside you. There is nothing else beside you. Hallelujah. Janet Paulman Salzman Sola. You're right.
We're on Terry Green's.
Okay, Terry Greenstein.
You know, I got a little worried after another 3 years, right?
No. We wouldn't want to try to be perfect like God, so a little error is good.
The holy work of Hashpa'ah has been the most rewarding part of my rabbinate. Even before becoming a rabbi, I knew it to be my calling when I studied at AJR with Shahama in a spiritual direction class. And when I was ordained, I contacted Shahama and said, will you be a reference for me? And she said, for Lev Shemea? Come to us. And so I am thrilled to become part of you. Having now had the benefit of this training in this groundbreaking program, I want to thank my incredible teachers and chevra who have been my companions on this holy journey. May we all be blessed with inner guidance as we impart love and compassion to those we serve. Amen.
In the lineage of Rabbi Zalman and Aleph, we bless and ordain you as Mashpia Ruchanit, spiritual director.
From where we stand, go forward.
With great pleasure, we present to you Terry Greenstein, Mashpia Ruchanit and spiritual director.
Janet Paulman Salzman. She gets called twice.
Listening for clues, my own internal chatter quieted, for what is behind the narrative, reflecting what I am shown, joy, healing, pain, quest for meaning. Holding someone in a sacred way, a shift occurs within, putting on my God ears. Becoming a rabbi from the inside out. I hear the archetypical in the others, and what they are saying, connections with text and liturgy popping up in my mind, receptive, but not passive, striving to stay open to the channel. It's a humbling experience, but not in the sense of being humbled so that I am dismantled, but rather a humility of awe and wonder. This is hard work, and I can only hope and pray that I have some of it pegged down. Thank you, dear teachers.
In the lineage of Reb Zalman and Aleph, we bless and ordain you as Mashpia Ruchanit, spiritual director.
From where we stand, go forward. forward.
With grace and delight, we present to you a beautiful friend, Jan Sullivan, Mashpia Ruchani and spiritual director.
And Staffman. No, you're out of order. God has surprises. They were in order earlier today.
The power of Hashpa'ah is in its simplicity sometimes, such as the question, where is God in this for you right now? And often, tapping into the divine flow happens simply in the silence, a silence that is often more powerful than words. And so for me, at this moment of status shifting, as I become mashpia, and tomorrow as rabbi, I stand for a moment in silence. And then a big sigh as I say, Nishmat kol chai tivarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu. My breath, like the breath of every living thing, breathes out your holy name and praises you, O God, who has brought me here today.
In the lineage of Rabbi Zalman and Aleph, we bless and ordain you as Mashpia Ruchani.
From where we stand, go forward.
This is so good. We present to you our colleague and friend, head staffman, Mashpia Ruchani, spiritual director.
Jeff Shulman.
And I promised I wouldn't sing. It's been my honor for all these years to have worked and to continue to work with Reb Sean, who is my mashpia, and he shows me through his life the power of being present in the God field. And someday I hope to be able to show, to teach my mushpahim in that same way. Mima makim, from my depths, kiraticha, I call to you, and you appear in ways I can't always see. And even then I know your presence in every space. I am never alone. With you, in you, besides you, with you there is. Without you there could never be my life. Mima amakim, within my depths, I find you.
In the lineage of Reb Zalman and Aleph, we bless and ordain you as Mashpia Ruchani, spiritual director.
From where we stand, go forward.
present to you Jeffrey Shulman, Hashpa'ah Ruchani, Spiritual Director.
Orna Irene Triguboff.
What do you long for, and what is your purpose? Where is the holy in your life, and where is the love? What troubles you, and what makes you feel full? As you walk along the path, it's good to have a friend for your soul, your deep nefesh. When the way is not clear, someone to accompany you, a melaveh. When traveling at night, someone to help open the flows of divine light, a mashpia. A journey, a dance with the purity of your soul, neshama tehora.
Lineage of Rabbi Zalman and Aleph, we bless and ordain you as Mashpa'ah Ruchanit, spiritual director.
From where we stand, go forward.
Smile at everyone.
With such joy, we present to you Orna Irene Triguboff, Mashpa'ah Ruchani, Spiritual Director.
Ellen Weaver.
Hard to be last. Especially since at this moment I'm somewhere between a hatchling and a fledgling, rising up from the ashes of brain injury and neural Lyme disease, and just sort of becoming a new human. I guess it was 3.5 years ago that I felt I had a call from God to walk the path of devotion. I just didn't know how it was going to hone me. And I was actually a good mashpia before this program began, and had taken 2 years of courses with Reb Shohama as part of my rabbinic pastor training. But then the program started, and Reb Shohama cajoled, and I said yes again. This amazing Hevra and these wonderful teachers' styles of Hashpa'ah, to see what other people were doing was what has been, and it continues to be, really inspiring and wonderful. And I have honed skills, I've learned a lot, and there's been a lot of death and loss and illness, and I don't know what's next, but I'm here. I'm grateful to this whole Hevra, and especially to you guys. So thank you.
The lineage of Reb Zalman and Aleph, we bless and ordain you as Mashpa'ah Ruchanit, spiritual director.
From where we stand, go forward.
With great joy, I present to you my beautiful friend Ellen Weaver, Mashpa'ah Ruchani, spiritual director.
Just your voices.
we invite our new mashpi'im to step forward, and we ask the faculty, all of the mashpi'im who have served in this capacity and served these beautiful people, to come stand behind them as Rabbi Zalman offers a blessing.
I never had such a Havdalah. So I want to say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehakol niya bidvaro, shehakol bara lichvodo, and Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechiyanu v'kimanu l'chayim l'chayim. When Havdalah was being made, and there was made a distinction between the holiness of Shabbos and the holiness of during the week, the words jumped in my mouth. Ukedoshim b'chol yom yahalalu chasela. Those people who are kadosh in the everyday, they are the ones who praise. I just want to make an observation of history. The three main denominations were all imports from Europe. Reform came from Europe, Conservative came from Europe, and of course Orthodoxy came from Europe. The first real American denomination was Reconstructionism. And I do want to give honor to Reb Mordechai Kaplan, who began some of his work with his translation of Mesilat Yesharim, that book that Mashpi'im need to know and to share with other people. And there was a time when I was helping out at Reconstructionist Rabbinical College, and that's when we had some of the most wonderful labs of Davenology. And I would mention the issue of spiritual direction, and people looked at me funny. There was a professor of JTS who would always tease me, and he said, "What is your stuff that you do? You're not doing Sadia Gaon, you're not doing this one, you're not doing that one." What? And I would say, Jewish spiritual direction. Was it those? No, mit was me estes. I want to say that there is one of those basic cells that has been developing for American Judaism. And there are nerves and organs that are necessary for the survival of us. And some of that was a new kind of being a rabbi. And then to be a rabbinic pastor. And now to be able to speak of mashpi'im. I want to say I'm very happy to have lived to see that. And Yehi Ratzon, that there will be so many mushpa'im in the world who will have come to know the living God, and who in their own way will say, Bati b'mgilat sefer katuv alai, la'asot b'tzonecha Elohai chavasi v'toratcha b'toch me'ai. So again, l'chaim. And now,
In on milvato
There is a bracha before Birchat Kohanim. Baruch atah, ya Eloheinu chei haolamim, asher kedishanu b'kedushato shel Aharon, v'tzivanu levarech amu Yisrael be'ahava. Blessed are you, who has given us the task to bless people so that they should be able to love. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And as the pasuk continues, v'sambu et shemi al bnei Yisrael v'an yavorchem.
There have been many prayers, many psalms, many chants, many nigunim that have opened the space and opened the hearts and opened all of us to the Shefa. And one that we've learned to use in this Chevra to acknowledge God between each of us. Hine ya beini uveincha ad olam. Here is God, right here, between me and you, for all time. And we will be sharing this, the faculty and the students.
It's difficult to express in words only. Not that this covers everything either, but with so much gratitude for what you have done for us, because you didn't just prepare us to work with other people, but you yourself work with us. And I think that all of us have grown spiritually in the course of these 3 years? 2 years? 3 years. 3 years. Well, thank you, Toda Rabba.
Please allow the students and the faculty leave before you rise out of your chairs.
Shavua Tov, everyone.